Hi, today it is Tip and Technique Tuesday, and of course these always seem to run right on into Wednesday, but I've been making some what I kind of call wreath cards, where you do a kind of a wreath look with the National Stamping Month stamp from the heart. It's really cool. Karen Barlow is where I got the inspiration from, and then this is one of the cards I did today during a live video on Facebook, in my Facebook group. This is one I made prior to share with the ladies on the Facebook group. I did this with our new gold foil paper. I love, love, love it, and it cuts great on the Cricut. And I did Christmas ones on those, but the one I'm going to share today is going to be a Thanksgiving theme. So I'm using the gold foil, and I cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. Then I cut a piece of saffron, and I cut it at, it's going to be 1/4 of an inch shorter, so why don't we just use this, 3 3/4 by 5, and then the white daisy piece is going to be at 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, and that's going to make my mat for the card. So the first thing I did was I went ahead and stamped the sentiment, and I'm actually using the stamp of the month, which is just gorgeous. Let me put it on the carrier sheet so you can see the foam under it looks better. It is full of all kinds of grateful, thankful kind of sayings, which would be perfect for Thanksgiving or all through the fall. So I went ahead, I liked the way that looked on the corner, so I went ahead and stamped it that way. So that's the sentiment that's going to go on this one, but I need to use that to kind of center it on the piece we're going to be doing the stamping on. And I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, but I want it to kind of be. There we go. And then I'm going to take my pencil and just lightly draw a circle around so that I know where I'm going to want to stamp. So we'll put that over to the side, and then we're going to start stamping, and that's where the National Stamping Month stamp comes in, and it is full of, again, I'll put the carrier sheet under it, it's full of flowers and stems, and I'm going to pretty much stay with what I did with the other one, except I'm going to change up the colors a little. I'm going to use nutmeg, fern, saffron, ruby, and poppy. So we'll have just a little pop of color here and there. So I kind of like to start with the fern, I think, and start with the leaves. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the smaller leaf again. That's what I used in the last one. So I'm going to ink it up in the fern, and then what you're going to do is just kind of stamp it around where you think you want it to go, and maybe come back and do a double leaf. Oh, messed up already. But that's okay. It's inside the circle. Anything that's messed up inside the circle is okay, because that's not going to show. That is where the piece is going to go. I'm kind of on that center, so let me put this under. That will give me more. The little foam sheet that comes with it is a good stamping platform for you. And I'm kind of doing different lengths outside that circle, so you kind of get a little bit of a different texture to them. And I did quite a few because I'm going for a totally different look this time. So we'll put that on to see, and I'll probably be putting this on several times to see, and I do like the way that looks. So now we're going to do the nutmeg, because I really am nuts about the nutmeg. What can I say? And I'm going to use it for one of the stems that goes with the dots. And I am trying to find that one. Here it is. Okay, I've been using it so much that they're all kind of looking the same. So I'm going for this one, and it has some berries that's going to go with it, and which will be really cute to bring those out in the red ruby. And I'm bringing this one out a little far, and I'm just going for 3 of them kind of in a triangle. That usually looks pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. I'm one of those people that kind of likes to experiment to see how things turn out. So remember, you can always start over if you don't like it. Now these berries are going to kind of line up with the stems a little. And the nutmeg has a red tint to it already. So I think that looks really good. Alright, let's see how we're doing here. Alright. So far so good. I'm liking that. Try not to make sure I put it outside the video. I had to switch the direction of the camera. Alright, now we're going to go with let's see, what else would we like to try this time. We will do a little bit of, I've got a pine stem, so let's add a couple of those, and I'm going to do those, I think stick with the fern on those. Again, we'll just do 3 of those kind of in a triangle. See how that goes. Alright, that looks good. That looks good. Alright, so now we're going to do another stem, and we're going to add some flowers this time. And there's a cute little stem, and I think again, I'm going to stick this time with the fern one more time. Now, we're going to put one right there. We're going to come down here, put one right here, and I think we're going to put one right there. We might come back with a few more of those. You know how I've got a mouse in my pocket, so I'm doing that old wee thing there. And this time we're going to do these in the poppy. And we're going to close up that one. And we're going to bring in a scrap piece of paper so we can stamp off, because I don't want it full strength. So we're going to stamp off and then line it up. Alright, and then stamp off, line it up, stamp off, line it up. Alright, now this one has a little, what I call a shadow, or a second step to it. And this time we'll do it in full strength. Oop, got a little on the, here we are. That gives a little contrast. And then one more time. Alright, let us see how that is looking. Ooh, I kind of like the way that's going. So now what I want to do is I want to kind of do something, again, a little different on this card. And I haven't tried it, so I'm just experimenting. So I want to use the saffron. And there's several stamps on here that are just little dots. They can be for the center of the flowers. They can be, as we're using them here, as just a little accent. And I think I'm just going to stamp a few of them around just to give that little bit of a yellow color in there, because I really like, and that's the saffron color. Alright, I think I might like that. Alright, now if you want, you can erase. Just carefully, lightly erase around. Alright, and then I am going to pop this up. So let us find my pop-ups, which were here just a minute ago. Here they are. I'm using the new 3D foam pop-ups that we have. Before we do that, let's go ahead and attach it to the card. so that we don't mess it up. Now what I like to do, another tip, I like to start in the upper right hand and bottom left hand, or sorry, upper left hand and bottom right hand. If I get those two pretty much straight as far as the distance around, then I usually can get all the sides lined up. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Right, and then that's going to go on the front of a white daisy card base. So that's nice and lined up. Now we're going to do the 3D foam. And you can see, I practice to see which ones I liked best on the back. A lot of times it just takes practice to see what you like, what you don't like. And we just remove the backs of those. You can also stamp on scrap paper. You don't have to use the back of what you're going to use. I think what I'm going to do though, because let's do it in the saffron, since the saffron is the paper. Let's just run this carefully, not to stick it to the base. Do this next time before you put your adhesive on. I'm just running it around the edge so that it's giving me a little. You could use a dauber if you wanted to get a better look, but that'll like blow it off a little bit so it's not quite so wet when I go to put it down. There we are. That looks good. Now if I wanted to, I could come in with, and I didn't bring them over, sorry. I could use, let's see if that one, that looks good. I can actually come in with the shin hand marker and color in the word thankful, or thank, because full is already done. And this is the golden yellow. It kind of goes pretty good with the saffron. Still staying in that fall themed look. And I just use quick. There we are. That's got a little bit of a crooked to it, doesn't it? Well, I'm not going to tear it up trying to get it apart, but I think it looks pretty good. Now if we wanted to, we could add a little ribbon or something at the bottom. I have been using this white and gold baker's twine. Alright, let's get that cut down. I learned this from Gina K on the Gina K Stamp TV, was how to do these bows on your finger to get multiple strands. Let's see how big that is. That looks pretty good. What happens when you do it that way is, using your fingers, is it puts the strings to the back already, so it could be ready. We could put that at the bottom, or we could put it at the top. That might be too much. Alright, we'll just leave it with this. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'd love to see you try them, a card like this. Thank you.